Now that's odd, because I don't think you can hear me, can you? How strange. I know you can't hear me. How strange is that? Now what's happened there then? Just a second. See if I can work something out here. Can you hear that? No, nothing. No, you can't hear me, can you? Do you know, I'm not sure what I've done here. Oh, hang on, what's this? Does that work? Does that work? No, no, that's not working. What on earth have I done wrong here then? Does that work? No, no, just a sec. I don't know what I've done here. Didn't I push a button somewhere? Well, I hope we're not going to have to abandon this. I know if you're listening, you can't hear me, can you? I know if you're listening, you can hear me, but those of you on the audio, on the video screen, on the video thing, cannot hear me for some reason. And I'm not sure why. I'm struggling here. I'm actually struggling here. Very strange. Can you hear this? No, you can't hear any sound at all, can you? And yet that was working a second ago. What did I do? Hang on, I pushed that down. Push that up. No, not that. What on earth have I done? Sub. Is that it? No. Sorry, kids. I don't know what's happened here. Does that work? No. That just gives it an echo. I'm going to try and turn it off and on. Let's see what happens. Has that done anything? No. Well, that was all going so well. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what's happened here. We've just lost all the sound completely on the video side of things. We're going to have to give up today, are we? Not had this problem before. Could it be the computer? I don't know what to do, actually. Let's try, oh, hang on. Hang on, I think I might know. Yep, I know, hang on. Could be this. Is that any good? No. Not having any luck here, are we? I know you can't hear me. Just a second. Let's see what happens if I do that. Is that on? Very disappointing. Recording. Let me see. Line in. Well, that says that's working. Settings, maybe. I tell you what. I'm going to have to turn the video off and turn it back on again. Back in a second. All right. Right. Let's try that now. Settings. Save. Anything? Nothing? No. Well. This is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. I know you can hear my voice, right, on the audio stream, but you can't hear it on the other thing, can you? What if I shut that down? Let's try something else. I mean, is my voice even getting into the machine, I wonder? Reset things. Ugh. Right. How's that? You got me now? There we are. That's it, isn't it? I think we're sorted. Dear me. Right, hit the record and we're away. Dear me. Well, I'm sorry about that. We're there now, aren't we? We're there? Yes? We're there? That's flashing. That's flashing. Red lights are up at last. Thank God for that. Oh, dear me. What a dreadful... that has got to be the worst... In the nearly 6 years I've been doing this, that has got to be the worst ever start to a show. I don't know what happened then. I simply shut the programme down that we used to send out the video, started it again, and it just started working. Oh, anyway, welcome along. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Radio. United Kingdom Talk is the name of the show. If you're with us live, look at the clock now. It's 3:10 on Saturday, the 19th of February, 2011. If that's the time where you are now, then you can join in live. To do that, you can either use the email. The email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Or you can use Skype. We've got Skype. The Skype in name is United Kingdom Radio. All one word, United Kingdom Radio, and we've got a phone-in number as well, 020-3287-1488, 020-3287-1488. Now, some messages coming already on the Skype there. Vicky Gannon is with us. She hasn't been with us for ages. I wondered where you were, Vicky, for God's sake, dear. You do worry me, especially in the States with all that nasty old snow and ice that you've got at the moment. She says, I've lost the sound. Is it just me? No, it wasn't you, it was me. It was me. For some reason, everything was working right up to the moment where I pushed up the microphone, and then there was nothing. I don't know why. The people on the audio stream could hear it, but the people on the video stream couldn't. I closed the computer down. Oh, not the computer. I shut the programme down, restarted it, and that seems to have sorted it. All right, so fingers crossed you're all right. That is me, isn't it? You getting that all right? Okay? Is that all right, eh? Let's try... Yeah, definitely coming on that microphone. I think what was happening is it was trying to pick it up from the camera microphone, which is disconnected anyway. Vicky says, I played part of an old show, so I know my sound works with Ustream, but can't hear you live. Well, you can now. You can now, lovey. You started to break up during the news. The news was on, then it cut out. I could hear you typing, and also that cut out also. That's better. Now I hear you fine. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome home. Welcome. Do you know that song by Peters and Lee? Welcome home. Welcome. Da 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 da. Come on in and close the door. Do you remember that? Who knows Peters and Lee? Good morning to Millie, who reminds me about the record button, which indeed has been pressed today. Hello to Fag Ash Lil, who's with us from Hove. We're all here today. Everyone's here today. This is wonderful. Who says, you best have a great show, because I stayed awake special. Had 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She got up early for this show, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, what time does this blooming woman get up, for God's sake? 3 in the afternoon. She says, how did the new bloke get on? Oh, that from last week? Well, no, I'm sorry. There was a bit of swearing going on there, so we knocked that one on the head. He might have another go later. I'll give him another chance, but he's got to sort himself out. It wasn't him, actually. It was other people who were involved in the making of the show. There's a bit of swearing going on. Sorry, gone. That's the end of it. We don't have swearing. And after that... the Friends decided to spam the United Kingdom Radio Facebook page. So I had to ban them all. But not him, because it actually wasn't him, believe it or not. It was everyone else. So, no, he's not going to be on. However, there is a new boy, Fag Ashley, name of James, who is, are you ready for this, 12 years old. James is 12 years old. He's actually listening this afternoon. He's going to call in at some point. And he sent in a little demo, and it sounds fine, actually. The content, quality is not quite there, but I think we can get away with that, actually. The content's all right. He knows how to talk. Oh, yeah. I reckon James is one of those little boys who drives his mum and dad mad, nattering in their ears all day long. Is that right, James? Anyway, hopefully he'll give us a little bit of a call later on. So he'll be probably starting, I would think, next Saturday, I think 5 till 6, I think is the time he'll be on. Fagaslil says, why doesn't Simon do a show from the Isle of Wight? I don't know. Why don't you ask him? How do I know? Am I Simon? Does it say Simon? Does it say Simon on my head? No, it doesn't. It says loser. That's what it says on my head, because I'm lonely and unwanted. Loser. That's me. Loser. I was doing that at the karaoke on Monday. Hands up how many people haven't got Valentine's cards or flowers, and all these hands went up. I went, right, make an L shape with your thumb and first finger, attach it to your forehead and walk around saying, I am a loser. I am a loser. Dear me. So I don't know, why doesn't Simon do a show? I don't know, why don't you ask him? You know, I mean, he's not... Hello? No, Simon's not on the phone here, dear. He's not on the phone here, I don't know. And she says, hope you're feeling better. Yes, I am. Much better, thank you. As you can hear, the voice has returned to its fullness. Okay? Because last Thursday it was like that, wasn't it? It was very butch. You probably thought a rugby player had come on to present the show temporarily, didn't you? While my voice was recovering, yes. Let's see. She says, and she can hear, she couldn't hear. I know people couldn't hear the show earlier. Sorry about that. She says, Peters and Lee, now you're showing your age. Oh, they were good. My mum loved them. Peters and Lee. Yes. James wants to know, is that an old video playing? No, this is not an old video. This is me. How do you know it's me live? Well, it's, have a look at the clock. I told you. It's about 16 minutes past 3. Okay? Saturday, the 19th of February 2011, and I'm wearing a purple t-shirt. If all those things match, then you know this is a live show. Okay? But if it's another time and another date, then you're probably watching a recording. All right, James? Oh, I thought I had another couple of messages here. Where have they disappeared to? No, that might be it, actually. Let me see, is that it? There we are. Sorted. Okay, we're sorted. Good morning to Ben, who was a little bit worried that he couldn't hear me. Ben is a regular customer on Sunday nights at a little place I work at in Clapham. Hello, Ben. And he says, come on, sort it out. Where is the sound? It's here now. I am firing on all cylinders. Okay? Firing on all cylinders. I've already had my dinner. I've been swimming today. Oh, I'm not keen on going swimming on Saturdays in the swimming pool. Why is it that women and their children insist on coming swimming on Saturdays, but they don't, it does annoy me, they don't stay in the same area of the swimming pool. You know, you're trying to do your length going up and down, right? And then they get in the pool, and it's always the same. It'll be a mother with a baby, and she goes backwards and doesn't look behind her, ever. Just look straight at the baby's face, as if it's going to sort of change instantaneously or something. They just reverse in the swimming pool, and they don't stay in the same blooming place. All over the place they are. Absolutely oblivious to anyone else that is in the pool. It's just annoying. Never mind, I managed to do my 40 lengths, so I'm feeling quite fit today. Fit, but also, I'm afraid, fat as well. Yes, I'm afraid the weight is continuing to increase, which is starting to worry me now. I'm going to have to go to I've got an appointment with the doctor in April. That's it, April. I think it's my next appointment. And I have this steroid inhaler. And he did say that may cause weight gain. And I think it's got to be that, because I'm not doing anything different. I think it must definitely be that. So I shall inquire then. All right. James says, Mr. Beaumont says, Pat St. Clement. Do I look like Pat St. Clement? No, it's Chris Reardon here. I'm Chris Reardon, not Pat St. Clement. Thank you very much, James. Hello to Keith, who says, hello, Chris. Hello, Keith. Keith is in a very posh part of the UK. Near the East Enders TV studios. That's where Keith is. Isn't that wonderful? Eh? Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my holiday before we go on to the emails. There are quite a few emails that have been coming in over the week. Don't forget the email address if you want to join in at any time. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right. Now, I told you, first of all, about the part of my holiday, the first few days in Sydney, which were rather nice. And then on the Sunday, I got there on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday was in Sydney. And on Sunday, I took a plane to Norfolk Island, where I went to last year. Wonderful, quiet, very green, a tiny little speck this place is in the Pacific Ocean, somewhere in between Australia and New Zealand, slightly closer to New Zealand. So you have to get the private. They got their own airline, Norfolk Air. This particular island, so you get that, and premium economy seat I had. There were no business class seats on this plane. Can you believe it? No, no business class seats. So I had to slum it in premium economy. It was awful, dear, awful. So I sat there at the front of the seat, and on this airline, Norfolk Air, there's I think there's only about 6 of these premium economy seats. To be honest, I was a bit embarrassed. Actually, you know, the plane fare to and from Norfolk Island is a little bit expensive. It is on the pricey side. So, I mean, once you've spent a few £100s, you might as well spend another sort of £50 or £60, you know, upgrading the seat. And it does make a difference. You have got an awful lot more space in the premium economy, you know, if you've got a bit of spare cash and you can afford to do these things. So I sat in that seat. But unfortunately, I was the only person sitting in those seats. Everyone else was sort of going past me. And I did feel a little bit... what's the worst? A little bit sort of looked at as I was sitting. I sort of wondered at one point whether I should get up and go and join everyone else in the back of the plane, you know. But there we are. So that you get a little bit more fuss made out of you. The only thing is, by sitting in the sort of slightly more expensive seats, the food changes. Now, in most people's eyes, this is an improvement on the food. But unfortunately, me, Chris Reardon, plain old basic eater. You know, I don't like all this stuff covered in dodgy sauces and, you know, strange foods from around the world. That's not me at all. I really am, I'm afraid, a pie and chips person. So she comes over, you know, everyone's getting on the plane, then she comes over, she offers me a little glass of orange juice or a drink. What would you like to drink? So I said, just have an orange juice, please. This orange juice comes over. Anyway, the plane takes off, nice takeoff and that. Although I was aware of a cyclone that was coming towards the island that I was about to fly to. So I was a little bit nervous about that. Not just nervous, but also excited as well. Because I've never been or seen anything like a cyclone or tornado or hurricane, anything like that. I mean, the closest I've ever got to a hurricane was here in the UK in 1990, I think it was 1993. Or was it before that? 1987? Might have been 1987. I think it was 1987 when we had a really bad storm here in the UK and trees were blown over. So that's the closest I've ever come to anything like that. So I was quite excited. Anyway, so I've got on this plane and quite quickly she came over after the plane had taken off. Nice smooth takeoff, all on time incidentally. And offered me, okay, we're going to do the food now, sir. As you're in the premium economy, we've got Peking duck for you. And I'm sorry, I just don't like the sound of it, dear. You know, it's not for me, all this, you know, exotic foods. Peking duck, I mean, I just didn't like the sound of it at all. For a start, I can't be eating ducks. I'm sorry, no. Little things with green heads running around the pond near here in South Hill Park. We can't be eating ducks. No. So I thought, oh, have you got anything a bit ordinary? She says, well, what else would you like? I mean, that always makes me laugh, that, you know, when you're on a plane and they say, what else would you like? Now, where are they coming from here? Is there some mysterious cupboard aboard the plane, or perhaps a fridge or something like that, where lots and lots of different things are? You know, because quite frankly, I nearly said to her, I'll have a full English breakfast, please, or beans on toast. Or could you do me some fish and chips? Fried cod and chips, please. Something like that. You know, but you know damn well they're not going to have these things, are they? What would you like? Something else? She says. I says, Keith says, it's called the larder. There is loads of food in there. No, not on those little planes, Keith. We're not talking about a BA jumbo jet going from London to Singapore, Singapore to Sydney. We're talking about a smallish plane. I say smallish. Must be about 100 seats on there, I suppose, something like that. A smallish plane going from the mainland of Australia to Norfolk Island. You know, this is a private airline. The airline only owns 2 aeroplanes, okay? That's how small. They haven't got loads and loads of food there. But, you know, I would like to have been to... Wouldn't it be funny, you know, if she said to you, you know, well, what would you like? And you said, oh, can I have some beans on toast? No problem. And then, you know, she produces this, like, portable cooker or something and a tin of baked beans. Heinz, of course, and some bread, and I could have had beans on toast. Yes. Now, you're thinking of business class on the BA flight, Keith. I know Keith is sending me letters. He says, was there no chef? No, not on the plane, dear. There's no chef on the plane. There isn't a chef on the BA planes. But that's what I don't like, you see. I can't stand all these... British Airways, they make this big thing about, you know, employing these posh chefs. I don't know, people like, I don't know, Jamie Oliver and... Who's that French foreign bloke? One with a funny nose. He looks like he's had a fight at some point. What's his name? I can't stand all that mucking about with food. Give me plain English food any day of the year. You know, sometimes kind people, lovely people, right, say, oh, why don't you come around for a meal? And the thought just fills me with dread. Unless they then say, what do you eat? And then I quickly say, anything that's just plain and English. I am a plain eating person. Obviously not aeroplane. I wouldn't eat an aeroplane. Plain food, dear. Plain food. Well, you could eat an aeroplane if it had been made out of icing, couldn't you? That'd be quite nice. A cake made out of aeroplanes or something like that. You know, with icing on top. You could break off a wing or two and eat it. Eh? There's no chefs on the plane, dear. No chefs. Plain food. So I said, oh. So I said to this lady, I said, what are they having in what's the other meals for the rest of the passengers? She said, well, it's the usual. So she said, I think it was like a rice and tomato thing or something else. I said, it's fine. I said, that's what I love. I said, I'm not really bothered about, you know, having better service here. What I like about the slightly more expensive seat is that it's a bigger seat. It's very, very uncomfortable in economy seats on a plane. I'm sorry it is. I don't know how people do it, to be honest. I really don't. It is so uncomfortable. I mean, you can just about imagine, you know... Can you just imagine? Can you imagine doing a 24-hour flight on one of those Ryanair planes? Jesus Christ. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? Oh, you definitely have deep vein thrombosis after that one. Fag Ashley says, you made a plane made of cakes. I don't think I would like a cake made of plain. Well, I don't know. Depends how strong your stomach is, Fag Ashley. With all that drinking you do, down there in Hove, you know, I would have thought your stomach can handle most things, can't it? Anyway, so I had the food on the plane. Lovely staff. Lovely, lovely staff on the plane. I mean, must say, I don't know what the lady's name was. And that was it. And so coming into... Norfolk Island now. It's a very small island. I mean, very, very small. Okay? And the pilot comes over the thing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Captain speaking in an Australian accent, of course, because he was, you know, obviously not English. It's Australian accent. Captain speaking. Just to let you know, it is a little bit rough down there. We've got due to the cyclone that is, and then he tells you where it is. You know, longitude and latitude. Not that anyone can understand a blooming thing about that. What's all that about? Giving us all the details of the longitude and latitude. We don't know what that means. Why couldn't he just say it's just off to the left about 13 miles? I can understand that. You can understand that. Why do people make things so blooming complicated? They do, don't they? I'm sure they do it to try and make them sound superior. Is that what it is? Anyway, so he said it was bumpy. Please put your seatbelts on there. So we put the seatbelts on. And actually, it wasn't too bad at all, the turbulence. But then we started coming down through the cloud. And, you know, it was going sort of, you know, bumping a little bit, this plane going up and down. I thought, oh, well, this is all right. And then we're watching out the side of the window, you know, because I had the window seat, which I quite like. And this plane was not just going up and down. As it was coming through the clouds, and it come below the clouds, do you know, I think it must be more windy at certain levels below the clouds, because it was all right above the clouds. It was fine up there. It was below the clouds where the wind was. And I started to feel this plane going from side to side, not just up and down, side to side. I thought, oh, blimey, this is it. Anyway, so what's Fag Ashley want now? Just a minute. Fag Ashley says, good job you didn't get the beans. The turbulence could have been far worse. Thank you, Fag Ashley. Is that supposed to be funny, lovey? Are you suggesting that I have a problem with wind? Is that what it is? Chili con carne does that as well, as Keith George has just told me there. Yes. So the plane's coming down, and now we can see the runway. And I sort of thought to myself, we're a little bit close to that runway, and we don't seem to have got down far enough yet, you know? And it's coming towards the runway, and suddenly it dropped quite a lot in one go. And my stomach, oh my God, I was scared now. Scared now. But we didn't get to the point where there was screaming kids at the back and people, ah! Ah! I mean, that must be really exciting when that happens. Has that ever happened to a plane for anyone else watching or listening to the show today? Huh? Have you ever had that when you're on a plane, there's lots of turbulence and people start screaming? I love it! Ah! So it's coming and down, 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 and we are kind of I can feel myself going from left to right as well, you know, sort of down, down, up, and he's obviously having trouble, you know, getting this thing down. And then it got near the runway, and then I could see the runway, and it carried on going, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, we've now travelled a few seconds over this runway, and it hasn't touched down yet. And I just happen to know, because I've been there before, that this particular runway isn't that long. Or it doesn't seem very long to me. And I always worry, once you see the runway near the wheels, okay, I always start worrying if those wheels don't touch down on that runway pretty quickly, because the runway is only so long, isn't it? So, this plane is now going from side to side. I can see the wheels almost on the runway, and it's gone, you know, for a few seconds forward. I thought, I bet he's going to go round and have another go. And all of a sudden, it bangs down. I mean, it bangs down. Really bangs down on the ground. And then very quickly, and it was going along. I thought, come on, stop it then, stop it then. And then I felt the engine's going to full reverse, and was pushed, you know, like pulled forward. You're not pushed back, pulled forward in the seat, held on by that seatbelt, and then the plane came to a stop, and everyone clapped, because that sounded to me like a bit of a difficult landing to me. Anyway, got off the plane. And met my cousin Vincent. He runs the police on Norfolk Island at the moment. He's supposed to, his contract for that, I think, is up sort of in June this year, but he might be extended by another year. And if he is extended, you know, I did say I'm not sure if I'll go there again next year, because the journey really does my brain in. It does me in, that journey. Even in the nice seats on the plane, it does me in, that long journey, first to Australia and then to Norfolk Island. But if it's still there next year, I think I'd like to think that I will go again. And I've made some very nice friends on that island, as you'll hear, you know, as I talked more about it. So I met my friend, who told me, he said, how was the landing? I said, well, it was a bit rough. He says, I know. He said, well, we were all standing there watching it. He says, that's one of the worst landings I've ever seen, because the plane's going from side to side because of the approaching cyclone. Now, apparently, as I say, you know, the only bit of wind I ever saw was the 1987, the hurricane. Wasn't really a hurricane, but a very bad storm that we had around 1987. So got in his little car, he picked us up. First of all, we went to visit my friend on there I made friends with last year, a young lady called Alison, who actually writes an online kind of magazine for the island. I'll tell you what it is if you want to have a look at this. I think you do have to subscribe, but there's some free stuff you can look at. Here we are. Norfolk Online. That's it. That's it. If you want to have a look at this magazine, take this down, okay? Oh, she hasn't put the... just a second now. Norfolk... I'll find it for you. 1 second. Norfolk Online. There we are. Norfolk Online, where is it? Oh yeah, Norfolk... No, that's wrong. That's Norfolk Line. Hang on. Is that it? No. Oh, I can't find this now, dear. A minute. Is that it? It's could be it. There it is. www.norfolkonlinenews.com. Have a look. All right. norfolkonlinenews.com. Okay. Now, I'm going to also put a little link there on my Facebook page. Those of you that got my Facebook page, my Facebook is Chris Reardon UK. Okay? Chris Reardon UK is my Facebook. If you have a look at my wall, there'll be a link to this as well. norfolkonlinenews.com. norfolkonlinenews.com, and it has all bits of travel information and all that. Anyway, my friend Alison, she's got a lovely family. Her children are Eamon. Oh no, I can't remember the girls' names now. She's got a little boy called Eamon, and I think 2 other girls, and a lovely husband as well, or boyfriend. I think he's a husband or boyfriend, 1 or 2. And they're a very nice family indeed. So I went to Vince's house after that to meet up with his wife, Anna, another lovely lady who I spent a lot of time with this time. A lot of time with his wife, Wally, because he does a lot of work, Vince. He's always at work. He really is a workaholic, my cousin. It worries me. He does work so hard. If he rings up and says, look, I'm stuck at the office, I'm going to be another 10 minutes, that usually means another 2 hours. It's true. So I went there, and their little daughter is Lizzie, who's 4 years old. Little Lizzie. And I am known on the island as Cousin Chris. Okay? Cousin Chris, that's how I'm known. Everyone goes, oh, look, it's Cousin Chris. I do feel that I could sort of, use that name. It could become a brand. Cousin Chris. Yes, I like that. Also with him were his 2 daughters, Steph and Kate. They're from another marriage. When he was married, I think first time around. One of them's 18 and 14, I think they are. So they've got a lovely, a wonderful house. It's not their house, you see. The police in Australia rent this house and he lives there. It's a beautiful, it's just a stunning house. Absolutely stunning house. Let me see if I can, I don't know where the pictures are of the house actually. They've got banana trees growing outside. How wonderful is that, Actually, banana trees growing, massive amount of land. And it's like and it's on like a hill, and then his garden drops down quite quickly. Beautiful, beautiful house. And they've also got some new raised vegetable boxes that they had installed last year. 4, I think there's 1, 2, there's 4 of them. Great big boxes they are. They must be 20 foot, or I don't know about 20 foot, 10, how tall am I? I must be 5, I would say 10 foot long and about 3 foot wide, and there's 4 of them, and they're quite high up, and she's trying to grow vegetables and things like that, so very nice. It was very, very windy, because of course the cyclone was on its way, boys and girls. I then went and checked into my hotel, very nice hotel, the Governor's Lodge. Okay, this is not like a hotel that you would imagine in London, high story. It's more like a resort with little lodges, with small lodges, and the hotel consisted my particular lodge, it was like a living room area, there was a kitchenette at the back of the living area, open plan, and there was a separate bathroom and toilet with the most powerful shower I've ever come across in my life. My God, it nearly took the rest of my hair off. You do have to be careful with your sensitive parts when you put them under a fast jet of water like that, let me tell you. So there was that. And, of course, the bedroom. And unusually, there was a television in the bedroom and in the living area as well. So really, really nice rooms. 2 settees in the living room. Large telly in the living room and the bedroom, as I say. And car included as well. And actually, it wasn't that expensive. I spent 2 weeks in this lodge. And for that whole 2 weeks, I paid £1,800. Which actually isn't that much at all. That's not even £100 a day, is it? Something like that. When you know, if you want to come to London and get a decent hotel, you're paying £200 a night, and you're talking about a room. All right? Talking about a room. Unless you find one of those cheap deals, and I don't think they have many of those in London. So I was quite pleased about the price for that. Had a little swimming pool there, and a lovely jacuzzi as well. Really, really nice jacuzzi, and I like to put my feet in there and push that button, and I was filled with bubbles. Bubbles and foam everywhere. Wasn't actually many of us in the hotel. I think a lot of people were away, because the island is at the moment struggling to get people there, because, well, basically it's very expensive to fly there. And once you're there, it's not particularly cheap. Food is expensive, and I'll come on to that at another point in another show. The only other thing I had to pay for was insurance for the car, because that wasn't included. So the room, with the room, you have a key and like a card on the key, and you have to push the card as you come in the room. You have to push the card in just next to where you come in. Is like a slot. And that turns all the power on in the room in case people leave things on. So the room, very nice, and the surroundings as well. All around the little lodge was very. It's really nice. I mean, you can't complain at all. Really nice. In fact, we got this card round sort of on the last day, and it was saying, you know, what could we improve about the hotel and that sort of thing. And I said nothing. You know, you can't improve anything about the hotel at all. Vicky says, is there a lot of crime on Norfolk Island? Is that why your cousin, the policeman, has to work long hours? Or is it just a small police force because it's usually a quiet place? Second, yes. It's a very, very small police force. And he's really quite overstretched there. And there's not a huge amount of crime on the island at all. I tell you what you won't find on the island. Rubbish. You know, if you come to London, certainly even around here, you know, you always find a bit of rubbish on the floor. I never see one piece of rubbish on the floor anywhere on Norfolk Island. Isn't that wonderful how that is like that? It's beautiful. Beautiful. Let's see. Keith says, it sounds like home from home to me, dear, but which home do I mean? Keith George, honestly. He's got some bloke on there who's listening today. He's got so many houses, it's unbelievable. Not as many as me, but I mean, he doesn't do bad, actually. Well, it's funny you should say that, Keith. Home from home. I've been very lucky to be... funny thing is, I don't class myself as a traveller. I hate travelling. I hate it. I hate getting on that plane and doing all that stuff. But I've been to a lot of places, Caribbean, Europe, places like that. And yet, this little island does feel now like a second home. Why is that? It's the strangest thing ever. It feels like a second home. It couldn't be, living on that island, couldn't be more different to here. It's quiet. There's not an awful lot to do. The internet speeds are diabolical there, absolutely diabolical. You're lucky to get a third of a meg. You know, what's that? I don't know what that's called. You know, 75k. I don't know what it is. You're lucky to get a third of a meg because I did a speed test with my computer there, and it doesn't look like that side of things is going to improve. The electricity, it's okay. It occasionally goes off for whatever reason. It went off once while I was there. No, twice while I was there for a period of time. And it went off once last time while I was there. I think there's a bit of unemployment on the island. They haven't got anything to export really other than bananas, and they don't grow loads of those. Bringing food in, well, the way that works is that a very large container ship has to come over from Australia. And it comes over regularly, although there's long gaps in the period at which it comes over massively. But the ship cannot even dock on the island. What has to happen there is that the ship parks itself out, anchors out, you know, a bit further out in the ocean, and small boats from the island go out to meet the ship, and then the stuff is loaded from the ship onto the small boats and is brought back. And they have to do this several times to bring the stuff in, to bring in all the food or whatever. And whatever it is you want, it has to come in on that ship. Okay? New car, anything at all. You know, they have a couple of coaches on the island. And what happens when they have a big item like a coach or even, you know, some large cars? They have to literally strap two of these small boats together, meet the ship, put the thing down onto these little boats, a coach or whatever, and then bring it back like that. I mean, it's amazing what they're doing. I haven't been there while this has been going on, but I'd be amazed to go and watch this happening. Now, this isn't as easy as it sounds. If the ocean is a little bit rough and the boat has arrived, it literally has to sit there and wait for the sea to calm down, or the ocean to calm down, before the little boats can be sent out to meet it. So it's all a bit haphazard, really. Obviously, the people that are doing this know exactly what they're doing, you know. But if the boat comes across, now already items, food items, are particularly expensive on that island. A simple loaf of bread was about $3.20, so it's about £1.50. It may not sound a lot to you, an extra 40 pence on a loaf of bread, but you can also add that 40 pence onto every other item that you're buying, and soon you can see how expensive it is to actually buy food on the island. And if that's not as expensive enough, if the boat has to stop in the ocean literally and wait for the seas to calm down because they can't meet it, then the price of the goods is going up all the time because the boat is just sitting there. So they've got a bit of a problem. The tourist industry there was better than it is now. But again, as I say, the aeroplane that you fly, Norfolk Air, it's an expensive ticket. And yet the airline makes a huge loss. I'm not quite sure how it's financed, but the airline, Norfolk Island, Norfolk Air, makes a huge loss, even though the ticket prices are expensive. Not that there were many people on the plane. You know, when I was coming across from Australia, I suppose there were no more than 40 people on this plane. And then going back again, I counted them. There were 28 people on that plane. They can't be, you know, they're obviously running at a loss, a huge loss at that. So the island at the moment is in sort of financial difficulty, really. You know, what's the answer? They're trying to sort that one out. You could buy a business on the island that would get you in if you wanted to live there. You cannot live there. You can live there up to 120 days at a time if you're not a resident. But if you was to buy a business there, I think that would make you a resident, so then you could live there. If not, so for example, for me, if I wanted to go over for a holiday tomorrow, I could stay on the island for, was it 90? I think it's up to 90 days, something like that. After that, you're not allowed, you have to leave and then come back again, sort of thing. All right. So there's a little bit more about my holiday. The only thing about the hotel, and it's not something I didn't like, it was very nice. Included in my hotel every day was a full English breakfast. Not only a full English breakfast, I mean, to be honest, it was like a 4-course meal. It was. You started off, and I did this for 2 weeks, started off with cereal and milk, a couple of cups of tea, and then it would be, sausage, bacon, baked beans, tomato, and all that, and then toast and marmalade. And I did that for 2 weeks. I think that might be, I've put that weight on, you see, and I haven't been able to shift it since. So there might be a lesson there, I think, not to have the included breakfast when you go on holiday. It's all right if you're only doing it for a few days, but I did this for 2 weeks. And see, the thing is, I thought to myself, well, what I'll do to make up for it, I'll have the breakfast, right? But I won't have I won't have lunch. But it doesn't quite work like that, does it? Because breakfast there finishes quite early. The breakfast actually finishes at 9:30. So I was kind of in there at 8 o'clock because I had a lot of trouble sleeping while I was there. I kept waking up every couple of hours and all that business. I don't know why. Where was I now? Oh, yes. So every morning I was in there like 8:30 for breakfast. He'd have the breakfast, and he'd be very full afterwards. And I went, right, I won't have lunch. But then, it gets to 12 o'clock and perhaps I'll have something small. And then I'll have pancakes and maple syrup or something like that. Bit naughty, really. So that was the breakfast. On the first day, so I went to bed that night. And on the first day, I had a lovely tour of the island. And the coach driver was Rick. Very, very nice man. Rick, the coach driver, and had a full history of the island and all that. So there we are, part of my holiday there. I shall tell you more on Tuesday's show, okay? I'll tell you more about that on Tuesday's show. We're going to go to the phones in a second. James will be on the line in a second. Fag Ashley says, we know why you couldn't sleep. You were too worried about Ron having the heating on. Yeah, you're right. My best friend Ron, he had the heating on in this house while I was away because he was looking after the decorating and all that, wasn't he? Fag Asliel says, from what I read while you were there is no healthcare on the island either. Well, there is a hospital, but it is a private hospital, and you have to pay for everything that is done. Okay, James. Hello, James.
Hello.
Hello, James. How are you? All right?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Nice to hear you. Now, where are you?
North Wales.
Oh, what part?
Round about Rhyl area.
Oh, I don't know that. I've been to Cardiff, Newport, and something with 2 L's in it. It's a long name. I can't remember where it is now. Can't remember where it is. Anyway, how are you, James? You sent in your demo last week, didn't you? Which I like.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. You're going to be doing a show for us?
Yep.
Are you around tomorrow afternoon and we can do some testing?
Yes, I'm around all day tomorrow, so...
Okay, it'll only be me that hears that, alright? It won't go out or anything. So we'll do a little bit of testing tomorrow. You got that programme I sent you?
The thing is with that, I don't have Windows, I use Mac, so I've got another programme which is the same but the Mac version, so I'll use that.
Oh, have you? What's that called then?
It's called Buttcast, Buttcast.
Buttcast?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a little look at that. That's for the Apple, is it?
I'll send you a link.
Okay, because with someone, Lee Mills, he's got an Apple computer, and he says he's never been able to find a program to do it. So you reckon Buttcast to do it, do you?
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Okay, well, I'll give you the details and all that tomorrow then, okay?
Yes.
So are you on holiday at the moment, James?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Week. Pardon?
How old are you?
I'm 12.
12. Any idea what you want to do with your life yet, or is it a bit early?
It's a bit early.
It is really, isn't it? Are you at secondary school?
Yes.
First year?
Second.
Second year. Okay, I've got a nephew, Jimmy. He's 14 this year. He's 13 at the moment. He likes, he plays on the Xbox and all that, Call of Duty and all that business.
I know someone who spends their life on games like that.
He does spend a lot of time, not all the time on there, I suppose it's fair enough to say, but he does spend quite a lot of time on there. And he's got a little headphone thing, and he talks to other people all over the world while he's playing the game.
I've heard you can do that, but
Yeah.
I'm not one for games consoles and that.
Very clever, really. Have you been anywhere on holiday, like far away?
Not really. I never really actually go away. So
Have you been anywhere? To go anywhere away from home?
the furthest place probably New Zealand once.
You've
That
been
was
to New
ages ago.
Zealand? Oh, wow. Right, okay. When was that?
About 8 years ago, I think.
Oh, I bet you
Not-
don't even remember that then, do you?
No, I don't even remember whereabouts I went.
Have you got some family over there?
No.
So what was just a holiday, was it?
Yeah, just a little visit.
Okay. What do your mum and dad do?
My mum's a caterer,
Yeah.
and he's I think it's an IT consultant.
Oh, works with computers, does he?
Yeah.
Okay. And what can we expect when we start doing your show? When is it? Next Saturday at 5 o'clock?
Basically television news, technology news, and things that have been in the news.
Okay. Well, all the stuff that you used on your demo, you could, if you want, use that again on the show because no one will have heard that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it, really.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Anything else you want to say?
Not really. Just remember to tune in.
All right. So that's next Saturday at 5 o'clock UK time. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. The James, what are we going to call it? James Sanders show.
Probably.
Is it Sander or Sander?
Sanders.
Sanders, yeah.
Yeah.
Sanders. All right then. You have a nice
Okay.
day.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
There we are, James, our newest and by far youngest presenter, starting on next Saturday at 5 o'clock UK time. Looking forward to that. Vicky says on the subject of Norfolk Island, it sounds like... Oh, sorry, I've lost the place there. Where's that gone now? It sounds like a low-stress lifestyle in some ways, but in other ways, maybe the quiet is stressful. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. And I'll tell you why. I got to Australia on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all doing things. And then Sunday you get to the island and suddenly you're not in the rat race. And it takes a long time to slow down. It took me over a week to feel comfortable because I wasn't doing things all the time. You know, you kind of get out of bed when I'm on holiday and have breakfast, and then I feel guilty that I'm not doing anything. But you're quite right, it is stress-free and then stressful. One would assume that after you've been there for a while, it would be just stress-free. I can't see much stress on the island at all. Vicky says, are the people who live there particularly healthy or long-lived? Interestingly enough, I mentioned what are the rates of cancer on the island, because there's no pollution there, you know. You're just surrounded by ocean for miles and miles and miles. There's no pollution there. And apparently they have a bit of a problem with bowel cancer for some reason. Don't know why that is. So that's the answer to that one. Vicky says, it says on the Norfolk Air website that it's a government business enterprise which is owned by the Norfolk Island government. So are the residents underwriting the tourists via the taxes they pay? I'm not sure. I don't think they pay taxes on the island, Vicky. I'm not quite sure how it all works, to be honest. But yes, it is the island that owns the airline, if you see what I mean. Very, very complicated. Very, very complicated. Fagas Lil says, sounds like a canny lad. Talking about James here. Hope it works well for him. Well, we'll find out next week. All right? How big is the island? Is it as big as the Isle of Wight? I don't think it is, actually. I think it's... I'm pretty sure it's smaller than the Isle of Wight. Why don't you look it up, Keith? Norfolk Island. It's just like a tiny little speck in the middle there. Okay? So thanks for your messages there. Let's have a look. Millie has sent something as well, and Ron has sent something. Let me have a look there. Okay, you're just sending me some bits and pieces through there. Now, just quickly then, one email here. I'm absolutely horrified that Suko has had to send this in, boys and girls, who says, sorry I missed your birthday. No excuse, just forgot. And if it's any consolation, I missed James Dean's do. Did you celebrate in Australia? Yes, I did, actually. I celebrated on Norfolk Island. They put together for me a little birthday party that I'll tell you in a future show, right? Time to go, boys and girls. Don't forget my email address if you want to join in at any time. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back with you live again Thursday morning at 11 o'clock UK time.